The universal prophet Nuh's call to monotheism. Prophet Nuh, known as Noah in the Bible, holds a revered place in the Abrahamic faiths. His story is one of perseverance, faith, and an unwavering commitment to the divine message. He stands as a beacon of faith, obedience, and unwavering commitment to God's message. His life and mission are a testament to the power of belief and the importance of guiding humanity towards the truth. Nuh's story is a cornerstone of Islamic, Christian, and Jewish traditions. It is a narrative that transcends time and culture, resonating deeply within the hearts of believers across the world. He is recognized as a prophet in all three faiths, a messenger sent to guide humanity towards the worship of one true God. His role as a prophet is celebrated and revered, symbolizing the eternal struggle between truth and falsehood. Nuh's mission was clear: to call his people away from the darkness of idolatry and towards the light of monotheism. He was a voice of reason in a world overshadowed by ignorance and superstition. He was tasked with reminding them of their Creator, their responsibility towards Him, and the consequences of their actions. His message was a call to return to the path of righteousness and to recognize the omnipotence of the one true God. Nuh's message was simple yet profound. It was a call to abandon the worship of false idols and to embrace the worship of the one true God who created and sustains all life. He called upon his people to abandon their false idols. These idols, mere creations of human hands, held no power or divinity. He implored them to turn away from their wickedness and embrace a life of righteousness and submission to God's will. His plea was heartfelt and sincere, a desperate attempt to save his people from their own self-destruction. His message was a stark warning against the corrupting influence of polytheism and a powerful testament to the singular majesty of the divine. He emphasized the futility of idol worship and the eternal consequences of turning away from the true path. However, Nuh's call to monotheism was met with resistance. His people were not easily swayed, their hearts hardened by generations of idol worship. His people were deeply entrenched in their pagan beliefs. The rituals and traditions of their ancestors were deeply ingrained in their daily lives. They clung fiercely to their idols, refusing to acknowledge a power higher than the tangible representations of their own creation. The idols represented their history, their culture, and their identity. This clash between faith and idolatry would become the defining struggle of Nuh's life. It was a battle not just for the hearts and minds of his people, but for their very souls. Nuh's unwavering dedication to his mission, despite the overwhelming opposition, remains a powerful example of steadfast faith and divine purpose. A world adrift idol worship and moral decay. In the annals of history, there are countless tales of societies that have lost their way, but few are as poignant as the story of Nuh's people. Nuh's people had strayed far from the path of righteousness. They had turned their backs on the teachings of their ancestors, choosing instead to follow their own misguided desires. They had succumbed to the allure of idol worship, their hearts hardened against the truth of God's oneness. These idols, crafted by human hands, were seen as powerful intermediaries between them and the divine. The worship of idols was not merely a religious practice, it was deeply intertwined with their social and moral fabric. It influenced their daily lives, their decisions, and their interactions with one another. These idols, representing various deities and spirits, had become the focal point of their lives, dictating their actions and beliefs. They believed that these idols held the power to grant them prosperity, protection, and favor. Their society was riddled with corruption, injustice, and moral decay. The leaders who were supposed to guide and protect were often the most corrupt, using their power for personal gain. Greed, envy, and violence were rampant, poisoning their hearts and corrupting their souls. The strong preyed on the weak, and the rich exploited the poor. The pursuit of worldly pleasures had eclipsed any sense of spiritual responsibility. Lavish banquets, hedonistic parties, and indulgence in excess became the norm. Nuh's message of monotheism was a direct affront to their way of life, a threat to the very foundations upon which their society stood. He called for a return to the worship of one true God, a message that was met with fierce resistance. They accused him of being a liar, a madman, a subversive element trying to disrupt their established order. His calls for reform were seen as a direct challenge to their authority and way of life. His words were met with scorn and mockery, his warnings dismissed as the ramblings of a delusional old man. They laughed at his prophecies, confident in their own beliefs and practices. They failed to realize that their actions had consequences, both in this life and the hereafter. The moral decay and corruption they embraced would eventually lead to their downfall. They had become so consumed by their own desires that they had lost sight of the bigger picture, the divine judgment that awaited them. Their focus on immediate gratification blinded them to the eternal consequences of their actions. The signs were all around them, but they chose to ignore them. Natural disasters, floods and storms were seen as mere coincidences rather than warnings from the divine. Yet, amidst the chaos, there were a few who heeded Nuh's call. They sought forgiveness, repented for their sins, and turned back to the path of righteousness. These individuals became the beacon of hope, showing that redemption was possible. Their efforts to rebuild their community on the foundations of faith and morality were a testament to the enduring power of true belief. In the end, it was a lesson for all of humanity. The story of Nuh's people serves as a reminder that true peace and prosperity come from living a life of righteousness, guided by the principles of faith and morality. The weight of prophecy, Nuh's 950 years of struggle. Nuh bore the weight of prophecy for 950 long years. He tirelessly conveyed God's message, his voice growing hoarse from calling out to a defiant people. Despite facing constant rejection and hostility, Nuh remained steadfast in his mission. He never lost hope in God's mercy, even when surrounded by disbelief and mockery. His was a life of immense hardship and unwavering faith. He endured ridicule, persecution, and even threats of violence. Yet he remained patient and persevering, his spirit unbroken by the relentless opposition he faced. Nuh's unwavering faith in the face of adversity serves as a testament to the strength that comes with complete submission to God. Despite his tireless efforts, only a handful of people heeded his call. The majority remained deaf to his pleas, choosing to cling to their idols and their corrupt ways. This small group of believers, drawn to Nuh's sincerity and the truth of his message, would become the seeds of a new beginning, a testament to the power of faith to endure even in the darkest of times. Section 4. A shipwright's burden, building the ark amidst ridicule. God commanded Nuh to build an ark, a massive vessel that would withstand the impending flood. This ark was no ordinary ship. It was a symbol of hope, a sanctuary for the believers, and a testament to God's power. Nuh faithfully carried out God's command, even though the very idea of a flood seemed preposterous to his people. Imagine him, a weathered man, toiling away on the ark, surrounded by doubters and scoffers. They mocked his every move, ridiculing his unwavering belief in a flood that seemed impossible in their arid land. Their laughter echoed through the shipyard, a constant reminder of the disbelief Nuh faced. Nuh, however, remained undeterred. He understood that obedience to God superseded the opinions of men. The ark was not just a physical structure, it was a testament to his faith, a symbol of hope in the face of impending doom. Each plank of wood, each nail hammered in was an act of worship, a reaffirmation of his trust in God's plan. Section 5. The deluge, waters rise, faith is tested. The day arrived when the skies opened up, unleashing a torrent of rain unlike anything the world had ever seen. The heavens seemed to pour out their wrath, and the earth responded with a deluge that was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The once mocking laughter of the disbelievers turned into screams of terror as the water level rose, swallowing their homes and their arrogance. Their disbelief was now replaced with a desperate struggle for survival, as the relentless waters showed no mercy. The earth, once parched and barren, was now an endless expanse of churning water, a testament to the raw power of nature unleashed. Rivers overflowed, lakes merged with oceans, and the landscape was transformed into a vast, unrecognizable sea. Nuh, along with the believers and a pair of every animal, boarded the ark, their hearts filled with a mixture of fear and faith. They had heeded the warnings and prepared for this moment, but the reality of the situation was overwhelming. They watched as the world they knew was consumed by the deluge, their survival now entirely dependent on the vessel that had been the object of so much ridicule. The ark, their sanctuary, floated amidst the chaos, a fragile barrier between life and death. The ark, tossed and turned by the raging flood, became a microcosm of humanity. The righteous seeking refuge, the wicked facing the consequences of their actions. The storm outside was a reflection of the turmoil within, as each person grappled with their own fears and doubts. Inside the ark there was a sense of serenity amidst chaos. The walls of the ark provided a haven, a place where the believers could find solace and strength in their faith. Noah, a beacon of calmness, reassured his followers, reminding them that God was in control. His words were a source of comfort, a reminder that their faith was not in vain and that they were under divine protection. The ark, once a symbol of mockery, now represented their salvation, a testament to the power of faith and obedience. It stood as a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, faith could guide them through the storm. As the storm began to subside, a rainbow appeared in the sky, a symbol of God's promise and a new beginning. The sun broke through the clouds, casting a warm glow over the calm waters, and the survivors knew that they had been given a second chance. The people on the ark rejoiced, their hearts filled with gratitude and hope. They had endured the trial, and now they looked forward to rebuilding their lives, guided by the lessons they had learned and the faith that had sustained them. The ark eventually came to rest on a mountain, and as the waters receded, the people and animals disembarked, ready to start anew. The journey had been arduous, but it had also been a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of faith.